Atlanta rapper Young Thug has been granted permission to travel through Atlanta. A Fulton County judge granted it yesterday, and the key word is through.
Yo, so Young Thug allowed to travel to Atlanta through the Atlanta International Airports. With this major update, the judge actually just eased those restrictions and conditions, allowing him to actually travel. Is this a smart move? Man, before we dig deep and break it all down, y'all make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, tap the notification bell so you won't miss a drop. Jump in the comments, let me know y'all's thoughts. Atlanta, Young Thug, smart move, dumb move. But the judge, either way, actually just made a ruling today that allows him to make those actual travel decisions going through Atlanta International Airport. Hey, y'all know the vibes. Grab a seat. We finna dig deep. If you're new, make sure y'all hit that notification bell, that like, share, comment, and subscribe. Grab a seat. We finna dig deep. It's no surprise, no secret that since Young Thug and Brian Still are taking this plea with the state, Fulton County, the prosecutors, that Thug has definitely been having a lot of second thoughts about actually taking this plea. Now, one of the biggest things that I said with this plea was the restrictions and conditions, along with the time that they put him on probation. Even more interesting, the suspended sentence. But here, we got to focus on the actual positives, not the negatives. Now, this, in my personal opinion, may be a step in the right direction. But before we jump to the right direction, we got to see some of these conditions and restrictions, how Thug put himself in this very position. Let's dig.
Time to talk with your attorneys?
Yes.
Okay. All right, special conditions of your probation. After 48 hours from your release, you are to stay away from the metro Atlanta area, and that's defined by the U.S. Census Bureau. It may change, but you can look that up anytime to figure out what that is. For the first 10 years of your probation, funeral or graduation from high school, college, or graduate school of any of your immediate family members. And immediate family members is defined the same way that you all were contemplating it when you were negotiating. You can get here up to 24 hours prior to any such event, and you need to leave within 48 hours after any such event.
So let's talk about it. Here's what happened. Young Thug's legal team actually filed a motion requesting Young Thug permission to travel through Atlanta International Airports. And after reviewing the case, the judge within 2 hours came back and actually approved the motion, allowing him to actually come through Atlanta International Airport. Now, don't get me wrong, he is still banned from Atlanta itself altogether, but he is allowed to actually travel through Atlanta International Airport, which is a major actual distribution area when it comes to a lot of people, artists, rappers, celebrities, whoever, actually going to different destinations. It's an international airport. So that is a big win for the defense, big win for Young Thug. But why is this such a big deal? Let's dig. Now, with his original plea deal, the state, Fulton County, the prosecutors, they were hell-bent on making sure that they did what? Restricted all access to Atlanta from any one of the defendants that actually took the plea. We saw SB actually get banned from Atlanta. We saw Thug get banned from Atlanta. Now, even more interesting, they did actually, with SB's situation, give him permission to travel through Atlanta. But Thug banned altogether. Even more interesting, is this just perfect timing? Now, a lot of the state's tactics, the things that they've actually been doing and going through, allowing these defendants 20-year pleas, 40-year probation, 15 years suspended sentence, 20 years probation on papers, banned from Atlanta. In my personal opinion, that was all just calculated moves from the state, just to make sure that they added more damage to the damage to the damage. You blocked this man from being able to be and visit his natural roots to get back to his music flow. You blocked him from being able to get back to his natural environment where he learned how to be creative and productive. You blocked him from his family. Half his family as well. And the A, where is he from? The A. Everything that he knows comes and resides from the A. So in my personal opinion, the airport thing is a definite good step towards maybe us here in Young Thug start to be more creative, maybe start to release more music. Because again, think, even being released on these conditions, these restrictions, is almost equivalent to being locked up. You can't see your family. It's certain things you can't do. You can't make the music like you used to make. You can't wipe your nose. No more slack, no more slime. So think about this. In my personal opinion, I feel like Young Thug still, even though he's free, you get to see and talk on the phone and slightly move around and do it like this. This man is still locked up. He's still under the watch, the control of the actual system, Fulton County, having to ask for permission, but you took that plea. Again, that ysl-trial, you should have fought to the end. Let's dig.
Rapper Young Thug has been granted permission to travel through Atlanta. A Fulton County judge granted it yesterday, and the key word is through. This is solely to arrive at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. So Young Thug, whose real name is Jefferywilliams, had his requirements modified last month, and this allows him to visit his home in Atlanta for up to 2 weeks at a time if there are no violations within his first 3 years of probation.
So here, as you see, Brian still got straight to the point. Mr. Williams respectfully requests permission to travel through Metro Atlanta area for the purpose of traveling to Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport for commercial air travel for business and other lawful purpose. Now, in my opinion, here's where it gets kind of interesting, because as you heard, part of his restriction or his previous condition was that he had to actually notify at least 24 to 48 hours of him either coming or departing the Atlanta area. But again, that's only with permission. But as you see, this document was filed on January 28th, which was Tuesday morning. Mr. Williams seeks to travel as soon as Tuesday morning, January 28th, 2025, or in the days thereafter, if this honorable court grants permission to actually do so. Mr. Williams' probation officer, Carrie Mock, has no objection to this request. Wherefore, Mr. Williams respectfully requests this honorable court to grant above requested relief this day, 28th, January 2025. Brian Steele. But here is where things get even better. The judge, as well as the court, asked to turn around, as you see, order granted motion for permission to travel. And it reads, Mr. Jefferywilliams has filed a motion for permission to travel through the Metro Atlanta area to Hartsfield Atlanta International Airport. Based on the representation made therein, this court grants Mr. Williams' motion as requested to permit him to travel through the Atlanta metro area solely for the stated purpose and only for the time necessary to effectuate that purpose. So order this 28th day of January 2025, the Honorable Judge Paige Reese Whitaker. Nah, we ain't gonna cap and act like this wasn't a W. Definitely a W, because you see, she could have just said no, find another route. But if you're a flyer, see, I fly. So I fly a lot and travel a lot, and I hate driving. And one of my biggest things that I do is fly out of Atlanta. Atlanta's like the hub spot, the international spot. It's an international airport for those with passports, frequent flyers. Atlanta just happens to be one of those detour stops, whether it's a pass through, a stop through, a layover, whatever. Atlanta's a big spot. So, in my opinion, I do feel like this was a big W on Thug's behalf. Is it a sign that maybe the judge is actually possibly considering getting a little bit more lenient when it comes to these actual restrictions? Nah, not in my personal opinion. It is a good step. Look at the W's that he's had since he's been released. We heard his voice on Lil Baby's song. Seen him on social media a little bit. We seen him post with Mariah. Situation with his son, another video. Now, still haven't heard any music coming from him with Gunna, but he did do what? He got his freedom. He got out. He got to see what he wanted to see. He also won his lawsuit over the clothing thing for those that was jocking and taking the actual Spider brand. So he has had some W's, but he knows he does regret taking that plea. Should he have taken that plea? So let's dig. Now, in my personal opinion, I feel like this was the actual right move on the judge's behalf. Also, salute to the defense team. Brian Steele, again, dotting the I, crossing the T. Salute to Thugger for not even playing with them, because they're not going to play with him. One slip up. Now, it comes off like this was more of like an emergency landing where he was going through, or the plane had to be stopped and flight detour or whatever it was. But as you see, the defense is right there on it. Motion paperwork already filed. He still put it in ahead of time in order to make sure that he didn't cross those lines when it came to Fulton County. Now imagine this. Had he not did this, the plane makes an emergency landing, a detour because of the weather-related events or whatever it was that could have caused it. And he's going through, just passing through there, and a fan take a picture. That picture goes what? Viral on social media. No explanation. Fulton County is ready to violate right then and there. A lot of time, a lot of stuff at risk for Thug, in my personal opinion. So, again, is this the judge actually being fair? In my personal opinion, like Thug said, business is business. So I don't feel like she did anything outside of what those normal parameters of this actual condition say, outside of, he can go through Atlanta. Made it very clear, don't stop. Don't go to Cleveland. Don't go to Zone 6. Don't go holler at the old gang. Don't go see Rock Boy. None of that. Don't stop and see your mom, your children. None of that. If you can't take them with you, they got to see you later or not here. Now, it's a crazy situation because, again, these are the conditions of this probation. These stipulations, in my personal opinion, is enough to still make you feel what? Confined, locked up, mentally drained. But the judge is still saying what? You can still go entertain. Man, y'all jump in the comments, let me know y'all's thoughts. Was this a fair move by the judge? Is this a sign that maybe the conditions or the restrictions are on the verge of being lifted? Again, you got to do what? 3 years before you can actually even apply to come down there for a couple of months, a couple of weeks. Still a long time. Still being isolated, taken away from your family. Not being able to make money. He is able to make money, but not enough money that he needs to make to be able to take his family and move his family with him. Sad situation. For the county, they knew what they were doing when they put this part of the restriction or condition in that plea. Should Thug have actually taken that plea, or is it just part of the deal that he signed up for? Y'all jump in the comments, let me know y'all's thoughts. You get to go through, but don't stop. Till next time, remember, y'all stay safe, stay vigilant, stay dangerous. Remember, the greater the height, the greater the weight. The life you save might be your very own. And as always, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Tap the notification. Hit the like button on your way out if you ain't do it on your way in. And remember, I'm your host, Jay. Gone.
And Your Honor, at this time, the state is making a recommendation of 45 years with 25 to serve in custody, followed by 20 on probation, subject to the special requirements of 1615 for the gang statute.